The 6 most bizarre examples of mind control in nature. 1. Hairworms. Spinochordodes talinii is the scientific name for these parasites, which grow and develop inside orthopteran insects, grasshoppers, crickets, etc. They eat the internal organs of their host until only the head, legs, and outer shell are left. The worm can grow 3 or 4 times larger than the grasshopper. Once it has grown, the parasite can control the host's body and manipulate it. The hairworm brainwashes its victim to jump into a large body of water, which the grasshopper would never do on its own. Once in the water, the worm emerges and swims away to continue living, leaving the host to be drawn. Scientists have been studying how and why these hairworms can manipulate the grasshoppers into essentially killing themselves. 2. Glyptopanthes wasp. A parasitic wasp genus called Glyptopanthes transforms caterpillars into zombies. A female Glyptopanthes will lay eggs inside a young caterpillar host, roughly 80 at a time. The caterpillar's juicy, luscious insides will be the larvae's primary nutrition source after hatching and until they are completely grown. As they develop, they gradually take control of the caterpillar's mind and transform it into a bodyguard that guards them. As the larvae fully develop, they exit the body, adhere to a branch or some leaves, and then form a cocoon. However, 1 or 2 larvae stay behind and control the caterpillar into positioning itself close to the cocoons. The caterpillar will thrash around furiously if the cocoons are disturbed. That's how the pupae actually have a zombie caterpillar bodyguard protecting them. The caterpillar continues to behave this way until the cocoons emerge, at which time it dies. 3. Euhoplorchus californiensis. Native to Southern California, this parasite lays its eggs on the shorebirds it parasitizes. These eggs are dispersed into the water through the feces of shorebirds, and some of them will hatch into larvae when snails ingest them. After these larvae are fully developed, they emerge from the snail and swim out until they come across a killifish and enter its brain through gills. The parasite will force the fish to come to the surface, swim in a circle, and expose its silvery underside to attract a bird's attention. This behavior makes the infected fish 30 times more likely to be caught and consumed by a bird. Once a bird eats the fish, the parasite stays in the bird's gut, and the procedure can start over. 4. Acacia trees. The relationship between acacia trees and ants is seen as one of nature's most consistent and remarkable alliances. Ants serve as the bodyguards of acacia trees, protecting them from weeds and animals in exchange for shelter and food. But there is considerably more going on than first appears. One party benefits more from the arrangement than the other. A study found that the acacia tree's food contains a chemical that alters the brain chemicals of ants, puts them in a defensive mode, and increases their tendency to defend the acacia plants. Moreover, the enzyme in plant food disables the ant's capacity to digest food and provides predigested food, causing the ants to become hooked to the tree. 5. Phorid flies. The South American genus Pseudactaxion is fond of ants because it enjoys reproducing by laying eggs in the ant's thorax. When the female fly attacks the ant, it inserts 100 to 300 eggs into the ant's thorax. After the eggs hatch, the larvae move to the head and control the ant's minds. The larvae will eventually completely devour the ant's brain, causing it to do nothing but wander aimlessly for around 2 weeks. They release an enzyme that destroys the membrane holding the ant's head to its body after 2 to 4 weeks, which causes the ant's head to come off. As the larva prepares to pupate, a new ant-decapitating fly emerges inside the head. They are also known as ant-decapitating flies for this reason. 6. Sacculina. When the crab's eggs are being incubated, a sac on the underside of the crab's back thorax is where these parasites emerge after growing inside the crab. The more the sacculina grows, the more it takes control of the crab. The crab eventually stops growing, molting, digesting, and reproducing. At this point, the crab starts caring for the parasite instead of taking care of itself. Saculina sterilizes the male crab and, among other things, widens and flattens its abdomen to make it resemble the body of a female crab. The crab will jump up and down in the water to release the eggs whenever they are ready to be released. It will then swirl the eggs around with its claws so that the eggs can find their host.